This is like the fun stage. This is the stage that I maybe enjoy more than the actual being there itself. I think I might go ahead and start planning my next trip. Good morning, everyone. So I just finished Latvana. It was a very interesting read. I did just review it on Storygraph, gave it 5 stars. I really liked this. I recently had a friend comment on I think it was my autumn TBR where I mentioned that I wanted to read this. And she said, I just finished Latvana, but it's a little gory. I think that was her kind of warning to me. And I will say I'm kind of desensitized to that because I've read Polinick before. I've watched The Walking Dead for years since it came out in 2011. So this was not bad for me. It was a 5 stars. I loved it. I loved the writing. I'll do a full review in my October wrap up at the end of the month. So I will say if you are on the fence about it, I think it was in my last Vlogtober video, I looked up the reviews and it's got a 3.5 average. So not the best in the world. Typically if I see reviews that are under 4 stars, I tend to hesitate to reach for a book, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. I loved that it was set in medieval times. I loved all of the different characters. It was such an interesting soup of characters. They were all it's like when you're eating stew or something and there's you can taste every individual thing. You can taste the beans and the corn and all the different vegetables and they come together so beautifully. I loved the character development in this. Even the side characters, some of the servants at the castle, or I don't think it's a castle, but it's a house on a hill. Even the servants really get a lot of attention. You come to care for them just as much as the other characters. I am going to take you through, somebody requested on a video recently, they were take us through your reading journal, your book journal, how do you do it? And it is the most basic setup. It's nothing that you haven't seen before. Honestly, it's probably one of the most simple setups you could probably do. So this is a moleskin. I want to say this is the A5 size. Is that right? I buy these I think I got this one at Target. You can buy them online. You know what? You can get them at Barnes & Noble too. I think that's actually where I got it. And then I use an embossing label maker to put the year on the cover. I'll do a table of contents at the end of the year when I'm totally 100% done. For these blank pages at the front, I'll go ahead and type it up just because it looks neater than when I handwrite it. But I'll type up and print out a table of contents. I've already got the pages all numbered in the bottom corner. I do that when I first get the journal at the beginning of the year. But that way it's easiest to find. It's really easy to find what I'm looking for if I ever need to go back and reference something. I already have the page number and everything that I need. So what I do when I'm actually taking notes, what I do is as I'm reading, and for whatever reason I grabbed the biggest Post-it notes this time. Normally I just have those little tabs, but it was a good thing because I ended up writing commentary on these Post-it notes, so maybe I'll end up using larger ones from now on because I did kind of have a lot to say. But anyway, as I'm reading, when I notice things, there wasn't a ton in this book. It wasn't really the kind of descriptive writing where I'm writing down a lot of passages. It was more things I'm noticing about the characters, predictions that I'm making, if I think something is going to come back to play later. Sometimes there would be like a one-liner at the end of a paragraph and you're like, that is significant, she's doing something with that. So that type of thing is what I write down. And then I'm going to go through on a blank page. I'm on, what is this? I'm in the 150s. This is like page 152 out of however many are in here. There's about 188 pages in these moleskins. So I'm just going to go through and fill out all the basic information. So we have the dates that I was reading it, which I keep track of all of this stuff on Storygraph as well, but I like to have it in physical form too. So when I started and when I finished, the rating that I'm going to give it, 1 through 5, however many stars. I do give half stars as well. The title, obviously, the author, the genre, and then more recently I've added the publication date. I also do the page count. I'll also make a note on the top somewhere. If it is a translated work, I'll put like what language it was translated from. And then if it happens to be an audiobook, I will put the length, like how many hours the audiobook is instead of page count, because obviously an audiobook doesn't have pages. And then I'm not sure what we're going to get up to later, but I'm going to do this first. Okay, so I have chosen my next read. This one will work for Morocco for my Reading Around the World challenge. It's like feminist contemporary Moroccan literature. Do you want to go outside, bud? Is that what you're saying? Go outside. Go. Are you stuck? Oh, there you go. He's such a turd. It's also pretty short, so I'm thinking I can probably get through it in like a day or two. So this talks about the gendered body, social class, illness, double standards, and desire as lived by a diverse cast of characters. It just sounds really good. I will put the full blurb or synopsis up on the screen so you guys can read it if you think you would like something like this. I'm really only into this kind of thing in the month of October. I just feel like this month screams for this type of literature, really gory. I mean, I assume it's going to be gory. It's called Blood Feast. Like really gory types of... Why do you keep interrupting? At least he knows how to use the handle, though. He always reaches up for it when he wants to come in. Come on. So anyway, I'm going to start this. I think I might go ahead and start planning my next trip. So my birthday is in December, and I'm thinking, since it's my 30th, I might go ahead and do like a big proper celebration. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and start doing like some research, some preliminary research. I have actually been to Florida a couple of times. The first time, I mean, it was like less than 24 hours. We were sailing out of Miami, like the port of Miami, going on a Disney cruise. This was back in 2014 with some of my friends from high school. The next time was my girls' trip last summer, which was a ton of fun. We stayed at a really cool condo. We had a view, like the most amazing view. We obviously spent some time in the water. I spent most of my time on the beach reading. I'm not like a strong swimmer. I much prefer to just like take a book and read. Just this past summer, boyfriend and I went to Georgia, flew into Atlanta, and like drove down the coast, and then flew out of Jacksonville. And boyfriend was kind of upset that we didn't get to spend any time in Florida. Like he really wants to see really, really blue water and really, really white sand. I'm thinking it would be really cool to do like a proper, another proper Florida trip. So we're thinking the Florida Keys, southernmost point of the United States. I think it would be really cool. Boyfriend would love it. It's also like one of the fishing capitals of the world. Because it's like over 12 hours away from where we live, we would probably fly. But I don't know how he would fly with fishing stuff, like fishing gear. So we'd have to figure that out. There's a lot of things we would need to figure out first. I've also been collecting points on my credit card, so we might even be able to get a pretty sweet discount on our flights or our hotel. Not totally sure yet. So there's a lot of things I need to like go through and do and look at before we make any final decisions. I also know that like weather permitting, like that's December is, it's tricky. It's a tricky time of year. I'm just always really hesitant to book stuff like months and months in advance. This is like the fun stage. This is the stage that I honestly maybe enjoy sometimes more than the actual being there itself, because it's all about like possibility, like all the things that you could do. Like I like to make a list of like places we could go, like activities we want to do, places we're going to want to eat, so like different restaurants and things. And I'm such a creature of the light. I feel like I'm really gonna want to be escaping the cold. I hope it works out. So maybe in a couple of months I'll be talking to you from Florida. I am on my way to Target to pick up some things. And then I don't think I told you guys, this package in the seat next to me is a mixer from Cuisinart. I found a refurbished one on Target.com. I didn't even know they sold refurbished stuff, but it's like half the price, less than half the price of like a KitchenAid. Because I was looking online, boyfriend said he would like go in halvesy on something if I could find one online that I liked, because it's gotta be like a cream color so that it matches my other appliances, like my toaster and my espresso machine. It's so heavy. Wow. Oh, it's like magnetic.